It's time to motivate. That's what it's time to do. 2021 is here, and it's time to motivate. More than any time in the history of the world, how important is it for us to be motivated? For us to be able to be stimulated, for us to be able to be progressive, for us to be able to be strong. So I'm bringing this training to you today to get your year off to the fastest possible start, give you some tools that you can have right in your hands right now that you can use. I'm going to give you some free information today that you can grab a hold of, and you can literally use these things today and each and every day as you work through 2021. Now, here's the deal. I'm giving you 10 specifics today. So that way you don't have to guess, you don't have to hope, you don't have to wish. You can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I've got 10 things that I can do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis and throughout the month. And as I gravitate throughout this year, you stay on track with these 10 things, and I'm telling you, you're going to have a fantastic, a fabulous, a phenomenal year. So it's time to motivate. So I'm going to take you through some slides. I'm going to give you some visuals as we move through this. So let's take a look right now. Let's get into our training and get off to a fast start. I've got some time slated for you here today. Let's get over to our slides right now. So time to motivate. Yes, we got 2021, time to motivate. As I take you to the next slide, I want you to think about the X's and O's of this year. Think about this year, how you're going to have to navigate, how you're going to have to play things the right way. You remember tic-tac-toe? Well, guess what? I want to show you how to utilize life tic-tac-toe. As we progress on to the next slide, I want to focus on the word motivation. I want you to look at what's written down on that napkin. And I'd love for you to write this down today. I'd love for you to take the time to write this down. Write this down. It's a great day to start something big. It's a great day to start something big. Don't you think it's right now is the time more than ever for you to start something big? And that's a key step. Before I get into these 10 specifics, I want you to get your posture right. I want you to get your mindset right on how are you going to be thinking throughout 2021. I want you thinking big. And the way you think big is you start thinking big. All big things come from a thought process first. Nothing big typically ever happens unless somebody thought it to happen. Every now and then somebody will come and hand you something and place it in your lap, but not most of the time. Not the majority of the time. I'd say 99% of the time, something big comes through steps, through processes. And so I'm challenging you here right now to challenge yourself, to embrace yourself for 2021, to embrace yourself for the years to come, to say, I'm doing something big. I'm making my moves right now. While everybody else is trying to get it together, I've got it together because I'm thinking right now. So important, critical to think that it's time to start something big. Now, how do you start something big as we progress through our slides here, giving you some visuals? I want you to focus. I mean it. I want you to focus like never before. I want you to focus, and I want you to focus big time. I want you to really grasp this. I want you to think about what I'm about to say next, because how you stay motivated equals that you have to stay focused. So as I go back to that picture and let you see the visual as you're looking through those glasses and you're looking out into your future. What are you going to focus on? What is it that you really want? Do you have the ability to stay focused? As I go to the next slide, do you have the ability to stay focused? Well, guess what? I'm going to help you stay focused by giving you 10 specific steps, very specific steps to stay focused. I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to help you maintain your focus, which is going to tap into your motivation. So it's time to get motivated like never before. Look what's going on in the world. I want you to think about the stress level that's up right now. I want you to think about the happiness factor. Most people are not happy because they don't know what the future holds. Well, here's how you dictate what the future holds. You stay focused, because the things that you want are about things that are attracted to you based on how you feel. That's why you can't afford to feel bad. You can't afford to feel down. You can't afford to feel depressed. And I know it's easier said than done, but guess what? We can do it. It's easier said than done, but it can be done if you stay focused. So as we go back and we look at the slides, as we take a look at how we stay focused, and I give you 10 steps, I want you to really grasp what's about to happen next. As I progress to the next slide, I want you to think about what you're about to see. Step number 1, why? You see, if I get myself in a position where I focus, everything is about focus here because it leads to motivation. If I have a powerful enough why, I'm going to stay focused. If you have a powerful enough why, you are going to stay focused. You see, it's the why that keeps you on track. It's the why that takes you past how you feel. You see, getting to keep the ultimate motivation, it involves focus. And in order to stay focused, I got to have something to be focused on. So I can have my hopes, I can have my dreams, and I want you to have your hopes and your dreams written down clearly where you can see them. But what I want you to write down more than anything today, as you get ready to rock 2021, I want you to write down what is your major why. What is your why? And I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again because it will give you a basis point, something that maybe you can feed off of on how to grab a why. I can remember back in 1995 when I got started in personal growth. I got started in developing my own home-based business, learning how to be successful, not to be dependent upon other people, learning how I could apply myself and take advantage of all that life has to offer. And I got involved in business and I was doing okay. I was kind of putting along, getting by. And then I received a phone call that changed my life. I had been in the business of learning how to be successful and actually building a business for about 6 months. And my grandmother called me up and she said, our old Cougar, some of y'all remember those old Ford, those old Lincoln Cougars? Mercury, that's what it was, Mercury. I don't even know if Mercury is there anymore, right? So Mercury Cougar. It was a 1977 Mercury Cougar. Now I'm gonna remind you again, she called me about midway of 1996. So 1996. So we're talking about a car that was almost 20 years old. She said, the car's given out. We don't have any more transportation. And she was crying. My precious dear grandmother, who loved me with all she's got, who was there for me, who took care of me, who stood in the gap. Here she's crying. And she said, your grandfather doesn't want to say much to you about it because he's really hurt. He's embarrassed. Then my grandfather had worked for IBM for 25 years. He had a hog farm. But he was taking care of all these people in the family. And guess what? We were poor because everything that he was bringing in, everybody was needing just to live and survive. And here's my grandmother calling me, crying on the phone. And you see, from the day she called me, that developed immediately my why. I've been doing okay. But then all of a sudden, when I took it past something about me to something more bigger than myself, somebody that I really cared about, I'm telling you, everything turned up. Everything turned up. It went to a whole new level for me. I'm telling you that the way I began to work, the way I began to focus, the way I began to talk, all the fear that I would have talking to people, it started to go away simply because all I could think about is my grandparents needed a new car. That's all I could think about. And I went to work and I got more production done than I could have ever imagined. And in December of that same year, about 6 months later, I was able to help buy them 2 new vehicles. It wasn't anything special, anything off the charts. You know, we're not talking about Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis, but to them, when I bought my grandmother a brand new Nissan Altima, it was a new one. I never will forget. And I got my grandfather a King Cab Nissan truck. And I pulled both of those vehicles outside the front of their house. I went in and brought them out to see those vehicles. They didn't know what was going on. I pointed to them. I said, look, that's yours. They could not believe it. I'm talking about the celebration, the jubilation that I saw in them. It made everything worth it. You see, when you grasp your why, you're going to get your fulfillment. That's why this first step on how to stay focused, how to have a powerful why, a reason, a purpose, the point of why you are doing it is critical. So that's number one. You have got to have a powerful why. I gave you an example of my why, and that why changed my life. It changed the trajectory of how I began to personally grow, how I began to have an impact, not only on myself, but on other people. I started watching it, and my growth became exponential from that point on. And I've been able to have an impact on so many other people, and you can do the same thing. The number one why in your being now should be focus and find somebody. Find somebody. Or somebody's, or an organization, or a cause. All of you've got something in you that's bigger than you that you can get focused on today that can elevate you to the highest heights in 2021. You see, if you help take care of other people, your biggest why, a reciprocal of that is you'll be okay. Now, what's the next thing you could do as we move on? The next thing you could do is write down your objectives. You see these folks sitting right here? I wanted to give you a visual of some folks that are sitting around. A lot of people are planning or talking, but I want you to see what's that young lady doing right there. She's writing it down. I want you to write down your objectives. What is the focus of your object? What object will you focus on in 2021? What will you get laser focused on? What are the top 3 things that you have not yet accomplished that can be accomplished in 2021? See, your big dreams might not be that far away, but they might be a year or 2 further. So that's okay. Write down 3 things this year, 3 objectives that you know you can accomplish in 2021. Don't let 2021 go by and you don't accomplish these 3 things. You see, these 3 things are the stair step to your bigger objectives, or you might have already been stepping there. And now you just need some finishing touches. You needed that step number 1, that why, to go ahead and push you over the top. But for most people, they need to write down their objectives so that they have something to focus on. So they got their why, and now that's going to be their action motivator. The why is the action motivator. Writing down the objectives. Now, these are some personal things for yourself. The why is for somebody else. The number 2, your objectives are for you. Now you get to reward yourself as you're blessing other people. What are these 3 things you're going to have happen in 2021? Well, you've got to write it down. You got to be able to look at it. You got to be able to see it. And as you notice in this picture, there's other people that you want to have involved. That's why this platform is so critical, because we can come together here. You see, we can gather here and we can support one another. And everybody on the J. Noland coaching platform is rooting for each other. And it's an energy that creates a synergy that makes it better for you, for us, to come together and help everybody accomplish their goals. What if we had an energy of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who were all rooting each other on to say, let's get these 3 things done? And everybody was talking about their objectives, and everybody was talking about their whys, and people were coming inside of these private chat rooms that we're about to give to folks an opportunity to participate in, and you're going to get in there, and there's going to be tears, and there's going to be shouting, and there's going to be celebration, and there's going to be so much emotion that you're going to be blown away that synergy is going to create that energy. But you got to write down your objectives. All right, as we move on, we got 2 of them out of the way. Number 3, what do we got to do next? After we write it down, we have to visualize it. What does that mean? Look at those words there. You got to act as if you already have it. I'm going to read it again. I want you to slow this down. I want you to look at this screen. I want you to look at the young lady reaching out. She's reaching out into the universe. She's calling those things that she wants back to her. And all of us can do this. Men, women, children. Teach your children to reach out to the universe and start to visualize. What is it that you see out there? Slow it down. Slow it down. Visualize it. Read those words. Act as if you already have it. So as you're reaching out and visualizing it, I want you to start spending time focusing on it and acting as if you have it. I want you to now think about that why, and I want you to act as if you've done what you're supposed to do for your major why. I want you to think about your objectives, those top 3 things you wrote down for 2021 that hasn't happened yet. But I want you to act as if they've already happened. Can you imagine? Once they do happen, can you imagine when they go from the paper or from the computer and they come off the computer, off the paper, and they become flesh? They become a living, breathing thing in your life. Visualize it. Reach out. Meditate. Spend some time. Slow it down. I'm telling you that 2021 for most people is probably going to be crazier because of all the panicking energy that's in the world. Is going to attract more craziness. You've got to know that that's probably going to happen around you. But there's a calm in the midst of the storm For those of us that visualize it, for those of us that are applying these 10 specific things that now how much does it cost us to do what I've trained you to do so far? How much does it cost you to get your major why in focus? How much does it cost you to write down your objectives? How much does it cost you to visualize it? It doesn't cost you a thing. But if you don't do it, it could cost you everything. That's what I've learned. And so I want you to take some time today, before everything gets hustle, bustle, busy, and we get into the work week. Let's take some time today. Let's take some time tomorrow, and let's really go in, but use the steps I'm giving you. Use your major why. Do what I did back in 1996 when I had to focus on my grandparents. I emotionalized those tears that my grandmother was crying. I emotionalized it, and then I grabbed it and I said, I'm going to remove those tears and turn those tears of pain to tears of joy. You can do the same thing, but you got to visualize that. You got to see that. When I wrote down my objectives, you write down your objectives. It could be some small steps. It could be, let's get that car paid off, right? It could be, well, I want to take that trip. It could be, I want to spend this time with my family in this location. I've always wanted to go to this cabin up in the mountains and take my kids and my wife or my significant other or my husband. I want you to figure out, I want you to get specific, and I want you to open up. I want you to just let it open up. And then I want you to visualize it and use some meditation techniques, some meditation practices. Quiet your mind down. And as you go back to this picture, I want you to really look and imagine yourself reaching out to the universe. Reaching out, grabbing, and pulling it back into you. Now I want you to look at the young lady's hand. Now I want you to visualize if she takes that hand, you see her reaching into that light? That's what we have waiting for us. Light, happiness, joy. Now imagine just grabbing it, embracing it. Get a handful of it. Now pull it back to your chest. Put it inside of you. And I want you to let that energy drive you now. I want it to drive you. I want it to push you. I want it to make you do things like you've never done before. I want it to ignite you. Now, as we progress here, here's what I'm going to do. As we go to the next slide here, I think it's time I give you a shortcut. You see, as we're stair-stepping, what if I could give you a shortcut that will help this stuff come faster if you apply it? So here's a shortcut tip, very important tip. It's called Brainwave entrainment. Brainwave entrainment. Now, we have a product called Confidence Tones. And what Confidence Tones does is it utilizes a proprietary method of brainwave entrainment. And this is what it means. This is a method to encourage or stimulate the brain into entering a certain state by using sound frequencies, light, or electromagnetic field pulses. This process is designed to stimulate your brain's frequency following response. I'm going to say that again. Your brain's frequency following response. We want to get your brain to start to follow the right patterns. See, thus encouraging the brain waves where? In your brain to align to the frequency of a given stimulus. Now notice the last two words there. I want you to focus on the last two words because this is a shortcut tip opportunity. Given stimulus. So we have certain patterns that we can program certain frequencies that we can talk to the brain with and give it a stimulus to do what? To get your frequency following response on the right path. You see, most people, and this happened to me for years. And some people go, how come I always I can't seem to grab it? I'm trying to grab it, but I can't seem to grab it. What is going on? I seem like I'm getting close, and every time I take 2 steps forward, how many of you heard this before? I take a step back, or 2 or 3 or 4 steps back. And what's happening is the brainwave patterns are not connecting right. There's a thing called the conscious mind and a thing called the subconscious mind. And what we've got to get great at doing, I'm telling you, you can solve a lot of your issues in 2021 just by not fighting what I'm going to tell you now. Because I actually did this the long route, and I wish I'd have figured out this shortcut decades ago. Because I've been studying this thing called personal growth and confidence and success principles and a better way of life for 25 years. And I never stopped and took the time to look at the actual science until a few years ago. I started going, you know what? I've been putting in this manual work. Is there a science? And it was crazy. I remember once I started thinking about it, all the way back in like 1989, there was a book given to me about quantum physics and about how the brain works. And I breezed through it, but I didn't read through it. And I wish I would have stopped and just done that. I would have gave myself a massive shortcut. So what we've done is we put confidence tones together because we've learned that these frequencies are real. And what we're able to do is utilize binaural beats and tones. We're able to use things like isochronic tones, things like monaural tones, things like solfeggio tones, light frequencies, visual frequencies. This is unbelievable. Electromagnetic impulses. This is amazing. So we put these confidence tones together, and we've got these staged up to be able to help the brain. Now, most people, especially with what's happened in 2020, there's a lot of trauma that people had already been dealing with, and now 2020 just piled on. So we wanted to put together a foundational program and start with what's called a deep restore, because this will help provide what I would call brain wave entrainment nutrition to help support and give you put you in an environment of being able to help facilitate some of this trauma that's taking place, to get the brain operating on the right frequency. Again, there's no medical claims. We don't say we're going to prevent, cure, mitigate, or any of those type of diseases. This is just simple science in working with the brain and utilizing sound frequency. So go through a deep restore. And this is a 21-day program. And again, you can add more days if you want, if you need it, but 7 days on deep restore to help alleviate some of this emotional and mental trauma. And then go into entering. That's entering into confidence, into a better state, to where now you're fertile, you're ready to plant these seeds. That's another 7 days. And then coming out of that, you go into elevate. Now I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to get moving. I'm ready to make things happen. That's another 7 days. And how long does it take? Each one of these sessions, it's about 12 minutes. It's unbelievable. So what we've done is we've taken this crazy value of $249. We said, hey, let's let people get in now while we're getting an entire system. You're going to see a massive system, a massive platform. People can plug in and grab these now and save some significant money. So instead of paying $249, the value, you can get the confidence foundation tones for $97. But now, once you got your hands on those, now you're going to want to expand and utilize the 6-pillar confidence master pack, because this helps you master all areas of life. And there's 24 tracks. So in each one of the pillars, there's 4 different tracks. Now we're going to add onto these tracks. And as I speak, an app is being programmed. So now you can get access to this through our platform with your smartphone, on a computer, on a pad, on a tablet. You can access it there. And then soon you'll be able to have an app. Now, anyone that gets access to the tones now will get access to the app. So anyone that gets the 6-pillar confidence master pack, each one of those is around $279 for each pillar. So that would cost you about $1,782. We're going to discount that down to $279 introductory to get the word out. What we want is a bunch of testimonials. We want a bunch of stories coming back of what's happening with people. And this is the beautiful part. This is a 5-year access to the app that's included with this pack. So instead of paying a monthly or a yearly fee, you got 5 years access to this. Now, on top of your 6-pillar confidence pack, there's going to be things that people really want to focus on a deeper level. And so on the deeper level, we say, well, let's do these things while you're sleeping. So we've got these deep sleep system sound frequency, the sound frequency technology, and each one of these are around 3 hours. So what's a big thing that people want now? They want to lose weight like crazy. So a fat burning extreme. What do you need to do? Put some headphones on, or with these particular tones, because of the wave patterns we're not using binaural with these. We're utilizing solfeggio and isochronic and binaural tones. So you don't need the headsets, but it's better if you do. But if you want to start accelerating fat burning and put yourself in a potential state of extreme fat burn state, get these frequencies working, because the frequencies are designed to completely irritate your fat burn cells in your body, but you won't feel irritated. They will. That's what's so awesome about that. And again, this is science. You can check it out. We're going to provide a lot of science on the site. So you get over to confidencetones.com and you'll see all this. Now we've got a fat burn extreme, a constipation relief. A lot of people have problems with that. A parasite cleanse support. They say a lot of times people can't lose weight because of the parasites they're holding. And a deep pain relief. A lot of folks are dealing with deep pain in multiple areas of their body. Each one of these 3-hour tracks is $49, or you can save 50% by getting a couple of those tracks, so $98, and you get all 4 of them. That's the deep sleep systems. So what's happening here? What's happening? These are shortcuts. Again, this is a shortcut. So as I'm teaching you these things, I'm saying, hey, I'm giving you this free training. At the same time, if you want to access some tools to accelerate this process and support what you're being trained, grab some of these tools. Now, let's move on here. We got 3 important tips. What do we got? Number 1, our why. Number 2 is what? We got to write down our objectives. What do we got to do with number 3? We got to visualize it, right? Now, in helping us visualize it, if we go ahead and take the shortcut tips, you want to talk about your visualization and your motivation going through an entirely different level. Get those sound frequencies going. Again, get over to confidencetones.com. Confidencetones.com. Now let's move to the next step. I'm loving this training. I'm loving it because it really elevates as we go through the training. What's this say here? Speak. Speak. Speak to it. Speak to it how often? Every single day. What are you speaking to? You're speaking to your why. You're speaking to your objectives, to your goals. You're speaking to the things that you visualize. You're going to speak to it. You're going to call it to be. You're going to emotionalize it. You're going to talk like you've got it by speaking out. So not just being quiet and meditating, but you're also going to open your eyes and you're going to be speaking to this thing. So that Let's just say that particular house that you've always wanted. Speak to it. Your organization that you want to make a social impact with. You want to help the homeless situation better. Say you want to help build 100 homes in your city for the homeless. Speak to it. You got to turn it up. You see, it's not just enough to have the why. It's not just enough to write down the objectives. It's not just enough to visualize it. You have got to do this fourth step. You got to speak to it and with boldness, with veracity, fearlessness. You got to speak these things. As we go back to that slide, look at this slide. As you're speaking, you notice there's words, there's letters that are coming together, going out to the universe. As you speak them out, they boomerang and come back to you. They will come back to you. But you literally have to have the courage. You got to have the strength. You got to have the motivation to speak to it. And you got to speak to it every single day. And I say at least in the morning when you wake up. And I say do it again before you go to sleep. But even better, so that's mandatory. When you wake up, you're speaking to those things. You're speaking to your why, you're speaking to your goals, your objectives. You're speaking to what you visualize. You know, every morning, people say, what do you do? Every morning now, I wake up, as soon as I wake up, I immediately reach for my headphones. I put the headphones on and I tap into which confidence tones I'm working with that day. What do I want some more? What do I want to be bolstered more in? Right? Like this morning, I listened to Elevate from the Foundation Tones. So I'm like, okay, let me grab the Elevate, put the Elevate in. And now, as I'm listening to it, I'm literally, as the tones are going, I'm meditating, I've got to now where I'm speaking it out. As I'm hearing, there's visions that come into my mind, and I say, yes, I got that. Oh, yeah, we got this. Oh, yeah, we're doing that. Now I'm speaking it out. Can you imagine when all this comes together? Speak to it. Don't be afraid of it. Speak to it. That's number 4. You see, there's power in your tongue. And most of the power that's going to come out of you has been sitting in the back of your throat for too many years. And what 2020 tried to do is it tried to choke people from speaking to it. It tried to intimidate people from speaking to it. So look at me. 2020, it tried to make you back down, didn't it? It literally tried to scare the heck out of the planet. But see, there's a small group of people around the world who are not backing down, they're stepping up. And a lot of the step up comes through the words that are in the back of your throat. Get them out. Let them come to your tongue and let them come out of there with boldness. Now, some people are going to think you're crazy. That's okay. You let them think what they think, and you let you be what you're becoming. And you watch what happens. You watch how many people gravitate towards you once they see you are not going to back down to all the fear that's going on around the world. You're going to step up and step forward. So you're going to speak to it. Now, what's your next step? Let's think about the next step. Isn't this a big one? Oh, my goodness. Number 5. Woo, we got to take a deep breath on that one, don't we? Woo, hoo, 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 wee. Let go of the past. Oh, my goodness. Imagine that challenge right here, right now. To let go of the past, to literally don't look back. Can you imagine us sitting here right now going through what we just went through this past year? And even before the past year had come, most people already had a tough time in their life. Now I'm telling you, look at me in the eyes here. I'm telling you, I don't want you to look back. It's going to be tough. And it's going to take, in my opinion, for a lot of people, it's going to take some brain wave entrainment. They're going to literally have to consciously, competently train their brain. That's why I believe confidence tones is so critical for the earth, because it takes you into a state and allows you to stay focused forward. And what I love about it, did you catch that first foundational tone in the foundation series? The deep restore. Did you catch that? Well, guess what that deep restore does? It helps you let go of the past. So I want you to look at me right here, right now, and I want you to make an agreement with me that you're ready to let go of the past. See, why don't you look over your shoulder and kiss your past goodbye? Do it with me. Ready? Everybody at the same time. We're going to look over our shoulder. Look over and pucker your lips. Go ahead. Mwah. Just kiss it goodbye. We're not there anymore. We're here and moving forward. We can't do a thing about what happened in the past. So the more we look back and the more we fret, and as I was watching people moving out of 2020, and they're talking about, oh my gosh, 2020. I'm like, you're speaking death into 2021. You're looking back. 2020 was full of blessings. 2020 was full of opportunities. What did 2020 do for us the most? What are the great things that came out of 2020? Well, it enabled us to become stronger. It enabled us to see the miracle that we really are. Check it out. Here's your miracle. You're still going. Whoa. You're still going. As bad as it was, you're still going. The worst possible thing that will happen is it's going to work out. Write it down. The worst case scenario is it's going to work out. Write it down. The worst case scenario is it's going to work out. It always works out. As long as you're breathing, you got to say, this is working out. And I got to be more encouraged because I'm still going. There's people that die. Approximately 150,000 people die every single day. You didn't. If you're listening to this, you're still going. That's your miracle. So tap into that energy. See, just let go of the past. I stuck it right in the middle of the 10 because it's a reminder. See, when I'm sitting there and I've decided to get my why in line and I wrote down my objectives, right? And as I'm progressing through all those steps, I got to remember, I can't bring any negative energy. You see, whatever I'm coming out of, I don't want to go into with the same thing I'm coming out of. I don't want to come out of a crazy thought process and go into a year with a crazy thought process. I want to learn from the past, but I don't want it to hold me back. And see, I chose the words. I want you to look at the screen again. I chose the words, let go. You notice I put, because I got two things. I could have just stayed with don't look back. But I chose my first two words here carefully. Let go. Let go. Say it again. Let go. Let it go. Let's go. Whole bunch of power right there in those two words. Let's go. Let go of the past, but let's go to the future. Let's go to the future. Let go of the past. That's our focus. That's our energy. That's our power. And it's all got to be about love. You know, if we come together here, as we get a chance to look into each other's eyes, that's what I like about this video, this stream. You know, as we're coming back and forth, you guys get to look into my eyes. I want you to feel the love. I want you to feel the admiration. I want you to feel the honor that I have, that you would take the time and listen, because We're attracted to each other. That's why that's why I'm talking to you and you're listening to me. We're attracted to each other. And so there has to be a lot of love involved here. And if we let the love prevail and we let the love come through, you see, that will cover the pain of the past. That's why we need each other. You see, I need you to be here for me to teach, because as I'm teaching, it's also encouraging me. It's building me. As I'm helping lift you up, I'm being lifted up. And what happens is we get all this feedback. We get these stories. People start telling us what's happening and how they're growing. And all of a sudden these testimonials are coming in and people say, man, I used this training and now I'm able to do this. And I was able to get the courage to do that. And I was using the tones and all of a sudden I was having this pain and all of a sudden miraculously this pain's gone. And now I'm getting all encouraged and it makes me want to do more. You see what happens? Makes me want to do more. It reminds me, someone says, hey, I was listening to one of these pillars. I was listening to the one on stress, and then maybe my day is going crazy. Somebody said I was listening to stress, and all of a sudden I felt de-stressed. Well, I can go grab my headphones, put them on, and then I can feel that too. We got to be sharing with each other in love. And the greatest love we can demonstrate right now is the encouragement with each other, to just encourage each other to let go of the past and not look back. And have a great expectation. See, as soon as I let go of the past, I bring something to the table. It's called great expectation. I let go of the past and I expect great things in my future. And I'm expecting great things in your future. Will you accept it? Will you receive it? All right, that's step number 5. Now, what's the next step? Let's go to the next step. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because see, things as I'm applying, there should be progress. If I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, there should be progress. Now, if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're doing it, there should be progress. Look at that. I got it right there in a beautiful picture for you to measure your progress. You see it, I want you to notice it's going up. Now, as it's going up, you notice there's some dips. But the next time you go up higher. There might be a dip, but then the next time you go up higher. So if you measure it, if you're doing what you're supposed to do and not focusing on the past, then you'll have a progressive going forward, even though you might be having some dips along the way. So in 2021, I want you to measure your progress. I want you to look at where you started, and I want you to keep track of where you're going. That's why writing down those objectives is so critical. You had to write it down. And then as you're doing things, check it off. And you're going to get some other inspirations. If you do this thing the right way, you should knock out those top 3 things right away, quicker than later. And so you can write down another 2 or 3 things. So measure your progress. So how's this training going for you so far today? Are you getting something out of it? Is it valuable? Are you glad you're here? Are you going to the next level? Do you feel like you're elevating? Do you feel like you're getting stronger? You know, most people are distracted in the world. And as they're distracted and they're taking this time to just, I'm just going to kick back. And they're not adding any education to their situation, they're going to end up walking into devastation. Because here comes a wave of craziness because of the energy that's been put in the world from so many people panicking. But you're here and you're getting this training. How you liking it? What's it doing for you? I want you to maybe make a few notes from the time you started this training to right now. Maybe jot down a few things going, I feel this much different, or I'm noticing that I'm thinking this way. See, everything should be charted. You should keep a journal of this progression and how you're elevating from this point on. Now, I don't even know what to do about this next slide because it's going to lead to something that has just been, I believe, in the working for over 25 years. You see, shortcut tip. You see, as I'm measuring my progress, and I'm utilizing all these principles, now is the time to take a little shortcut tip. What's this whole training about today? We said time to motivate. So motivate. And I'm going to give you one of the biggest advantages of anybody on earth right now. I'm going to walk you right into one of the greatest advantages of anybody in the world right now. I want you to read the words. It says motivate. Then underneath the word motivate, what does it say? The motivation is in the what? Is in the motives. The motivation that you need, that I need, that we need is in the motives. Now, motive is something such as a need or desire that causes a person to act. I'm going to say that one more time. Motive is something such as a need or a desire that causes a person to act. If we could just get you to act, everything can get better. Act upon what? This information. The information I'm training you is 100% unadulterated, all in, all out, focused energy for the last 25 years. There's hardly anybody I know that has studied this as deeply as I've studied this in the past 25 years. Myself and some of the close people around me, we have put our guts, our life, our blood, sweat, and tears into studying these principles that will make us and others around us better. So I want you to pay attention because I'm about to present to you a jewel. I put together a program that I'm releasing today, and you're going to hear about it before anybody else has heard about it. It's called Motivate XP. Motivate XP. This is over 25 years in the making, and it allows you to tap into unlimited daily motivation. Imagine if you got daily motivation. You see, Motivate XP, in my opinion, is a groundbreaking audio series designed to teach you and other people from all walks of life the 8 key motives behind true motivation. You can now become your absolute best by knowing how to consistently stay inspired and motivated. Now, if you go over to jnolandcoaching.net/motive and the number 8, jnolandcoaching.net/motive and the number 8, you now have access to this series. We're going to sell it for $297, but we're going to discount it $100 off because I want to get the stories out there. Now come back to me here real quick because I want to talk to you for a second, because I want to spend just a few moments explaining to you how important this series is to me personally. You see, I decided to record this series. I had it written 3 years ago. I had it outlined almost 4 years ago, actually. 3+ years ago, going on close to 4 years. I had this outline. It was in my spirit. I knew it had to come out. I knew it was going to change lives. I've created other audio series that have literally I'm talking about feedback like you wouldn't believe. It's helped change so many people's lives. But this one was really holding deep in my soul. And I was getting ready to record it. Then I got getting busy. You know how life is, right? And I was busy building businesses, and all of a sudden I had a child, and my son was growing. Right now, the time of this, he's 5.5 years old, and you know how it is. Life, family, business, this and that. Then I got hit with one of the toughest challenges of my life. One of the hardest things that I didn't think was fair, I thought was unnecessary, I thought was so unfair, I thought it was so brutal, and it challenged me and put me in a situation emotionally, mentally, like never before. I'm 52 years old at the time of this recording, and it was the greatest challenge I've had in my life because I was blindsided. And I literally was, I'm telling you, have you ever felt like your whole world's turned upside down and it's not fair and it's not right? And you want to just give up and give in? You feel like, why am I still doing this for? Why have I poured my guts out in my life and poured my guts out into people, and all of a sudden something just nasty happens to you? So I had decided I was going to record this. Before that happened, I was about a month before I had craziness hit my life. I was going to record it about a month after the craziness hit my life, when I didn't know the craziness was hitting my life. So I had planned it out. I was going to finally get it done. Then all of a sudden the craziness hit my life, and I said, there's no way I can do this now. And I let several months go by. And it kept eating in me. It was like in my craw. I was like, man, I wanted that. And here's what I decided to do. And y'all tell me if y'all think this is valuable. I decided I was going to record this during a time when everybody on planet Earth could relate to me. Because when things are going great and it's rocking and all these things are wonderful, it's easy. Oh, it's so easy to be like, oh, look at me. Listen to me. I've got it going on. You should be listening to me. And that's how most professionals that are personal growth professionals teach. They teach from an area of when everything is on top. They talk about when they were at the bottom, but they don't teach from the bottom. I created Motivate XP from the bottom, when my heart was completely crushed and broken, and I had to go reach inside of me and grab every single principle that I would need to adapt and to overcome and to win. And I said, what if I put what I'm going to use to adapt and overcome to win, not to back up, but to go forward? What if I put that into a series and I go ahead and blend that and let everybody feel me through this so that they can relate no matter where they're at? Because many people can relate from the bottom. Many people can relate from the heartache. Many people can relate from the struggle. So I said, Jay, go do it. And I hit the record button. I got in the studio and I did it. And I'm so proud of myself for having the courage to do what very few people on earth would do. Record a groundbreaking personal growth series. When your heart is broke, when you're down and out, when you're going through one of the deepest struggles ever, and you say, I'm going to take the culmination of every success principle I've ever learned, and I'm going to apply it. And I want people to come on the journey with me as I progress through it. That is Motivate XP. And I believe it's going to change millions of lives. After I recorded it, I listened to it. I had a test group listen to it with me, and everybody was blown away. So as we go back to the Motivate XP slide, I'm encouraging you to tap into what I believe is unlimited daily motivation coming from where everybody can relate from, especially with what's happened in 2020. My goodness. Everybody, their mother, their sisters, the brothers, the dads, the aunts, the uncles needs to get their hands on this. And I'm telling you, I'm going to create so many special things around Motivate XP because of how it was birthed, that I'm promising you I'm going to do some special things around this program. Now, for the first 40 people that get the program, So the first 40 people that get Motivate XP, the first 40, you're going to get the next deep sleep confidence tones pack that we release that will be coming out within the next week. You're going to get it for free. So that's going to be free. 49 times 4, what, about a couple $100 of value. You're going to get that for free. It's the first 40 that get Motivate XP. You're also going to get the next series of our deep sleep pack that's coming out. There's 4 more powerhouse confidence tones, deep sleeps that are coming out. It's a total of 12 hours of frequencies. We're going to throw that in. I just want to put a lot of special attention on Motivate XP. And I want to thank you for really allowing me just to take that time to expose you to that. For me to be able to share and release that program, to be able to go, here you go. I'm going to show you 8, because I went and I looked at what are the 8 key things that I've done through my life, no matter what, that allows me to win somehow, some way, no matter what. And I've already had the 8 laid out, but then I took the 8 and the time that I've been going through, I said, let me take the 8 and put it into this. And then when I listened to it, I'm like, that's the greatest audio series I've ever done. I've done multiple. This is the greatest one, I'm telling you. And some of y'all know the other audio series I've done. This one, in my opinion, is a whole level above. And I should have charged double for it, but I'm making it where people can just go grab it. And it's one of the greatest tools you'll ever put in your hands. But you got to be willing to invest a little bit in yourself. So hopefully you're enjoying this training. It's free. I'm giving you free training. And at the same time, I'm exposing you to additional tools that you can or cannot take advantage of. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. But let's keep this training moving. Let's dive in. Because I told you I'm going to give you 10 specific things that you can do. What's the next thing you can do? I love this visual. Maintain a support system. And not just any support system. I want you to look at this visual here. Maintaining a support system. Look at the visual. Someone working together with someone else to reach across and build the bridges that are needed for success. Do you notice you're going to need somebody to get those big things done, to cross over those big bridges that have to be crossed over? And what most people don't know, those bridges have to be built, and they're built through other people, through the cooperation of people that's got your back. So when I say maintain a support system, not just any support system. Look at me for a second. Not just any support system. An extraordinary support system. A group of winners. A group of people that are courageous. Some warriors. I'm talking about some personal growth, success principle warriors. Some life warriors. People that are absolutely obsessed with tapping into life energy and life motivation and getting life momentum. That's what you have on this platform. That's why this is what's so important about the platform. I've got a part of our platform called 365 Confidential. 365 Confidential. Anybody that grabs my book, 365 Quotes to Make You Better, we give them free access to 365 Confidential for this entire year. Now I'm going to let that happen up until the 22nd of this month. On the 23rd, I'm doing a training called Confidence Basecamp Extreme. You don't want to miss that. So if you go to confidencebasecamp.com, confidencebasecamp.com, there's a code you can put in to get free access to that. Confidence Basecamp. If you go through confidencebasecamp.com, it's going to give you all the basics you need to prepare yourself for Confidence Basecamp Extreme. The Confidence Basecamp Extreme is where we're taking, people are freaking out. We had 15 countries. 44 states of people that watched Confidence Base Camp. And people are now ready to go to the next level. There's a whole slew of those people that are coming and ready to go to Confidence Base Camp Extreme. You can go too. But first, go through Confidence Base Camp. So go to confidencebasecamp.com and get through that. That's a free training. If you want to go to Confidence Base Camp Extreme, $395 for what I believe is about an $8,000 training. Because it's going to be 8 hours on January the 23rd. So you're talking about in 3 weeks, get ready to light up like never before in the personal growth industry. I'll be doing a live training. It's going to be full of all kind of excitement, entertainment, information. And the key is you're going to be elevating. Now, in this group, back to the picture, is your support system. So maintain a support system, not just of anybody, but if people are going through our program, our platforms, these are the people you want to be gravitating towards and be around, because these will be superior people on earth when it comes to personal growth. But you need to maintain a very significant support system. People that will reach out. You see one person's reaching and getting across, but they're throwing their feet back for somebody else to grab a hold of them. And they're throwing their feet back to make a bridge for the next person. This is the warriors that we're talking about building. And we would love for you to be a part of it. Do you feel encouraged today? Do you feel inspired? I hope you do, because we're doing some things here, big time. So that's number 7. Maintain a support system. You see how we're progressing through this? Now, what's next? After you maintain the support system, a lot of stuff's coming at you. All this training's coming at you. And that's why the tones are so critical, because you're going to be growing. If you apply this rapidly, you're going to personally grow rapidly. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So there's 2 ways I want to focus on this overwhelm thing. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by what life is throwing. So all the noise around, all the division in the country and in the world. There's so many, you got racial division, you got political division. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Stay in your lane, stay in your space. Don't get caught up into all the hype. Don't let the media rock your boat and cause you to fail. Most of the news that you are getting is manipulated news to dictate behaviors, to get control of you and the masses. So you got to be able to have this type of information, or you're going to get influenced and go along with the rest of the sheep of the world. The people that are part of what we're training here, they're not being part of the sheep. These are lions and lionesses. These are people that are going into this world and taking it on. So that's number 1. Now, back to the picture real quick. See this gentleman, he's grabbing his head. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by all the training that you're going to get that's going to make you great. Just let it happen. Let the information come in. Let it flow through you. That's why you gotta get them headphones on with confidence tones, so it will help you stay on the right brainwave pattern to where you don't lose track of the goal. Remember the why. So if you ever come to a point where you feel like this picture you see here of this gentleman, where, man, you feel overwhelmed, I want you to remember, look at the words in that orange box. A few steps at a time. Say it slowly. A few steps at a time. So look at me. Just take a few steps. Keep moving. Keep progressing. If you have a setback, that's a setup for your next step. That's it. You're just learning. You're just growing. And for goodness sakes, stop taking so many things personal. You know, that is a major key in not getting overwhelmed. as human beings, we take so much personal. We think people are doing everything towards us. I'm telling you, most people are so busy with their own thoughts, they're not thinking about really what you're thinking. I know that sounds crazy. I know that might devastate you going, man, they don't really care about what I think. I'm telling you, most people are concerned about what they're thinking about. And they'll say stuff to you and you'll take it personal, but they don't even got their act together. So why would you give what they're saying to you a lot of weight if they don't have their selves together? How many of them are progressing through these 10 steps? How many of them are utilizing these powerhouse tools? How many of them have things like the confidence tones that they're listening to get their brain frequencies working in harmony in their conscious and subconscious mind? How many of those people are listening to a powerhouse training platform and program like Motivate XP? Whew, I can't wait to hear the feedback from that. Whew. How many of them are doing that? Hardly anybody. So when you're gravitating and growing at these higher heights, you got to remember, don't take things personal. And also remember, what will make you overwhelmed is you trying to speak down on other people when they're not ready yet. And they're not getting it fast enough. See, I call that speaking down to people. Let people grow at their pace. You see, what you are when you get this information is you're a carrier pigeon. You have important information, and then all you do is drop off important information. And that should become the story of your life. Is you're not the message, you're the messenger. I'm not the message, I'm the messenger. What am I a messenger of? Better ways, a better way of life, higher level of thinking, higher consciousness, more social responsibility. That's all we are. We find the important messages and we become carrier pigeons and we deliver important information and we don't take it personal. Because if we take it personal, we're going to get overwhelmed. And you don't need to do that. No need. What's our next slide? Hey, we're at number 9 already. Woo! Had to scream that out a little bit. Transform fear into action. So number 9 is take action. You got to just take action. And how do you take action? Well, the thing that stops most people from taking action is fear. And what you've got to do is you've got to transform. You know the show, the TV show, the movie, I should say, Transformers. That needs to become you from now on when it comes to fear. Anytime you feel a little bit of fear, I want you to think, transform. Transform that fear and become a transformer by the name of action. That's your name anytime fear comes at you. You're going to turn that into action. Transforming fear into action. On the other side of everything you want. On the other side of everything you want is the feeling of satisfaction. Well, what will take you on there, take you to the other side of what you want is that word action. Are you ready? Are you ready to take more action? You see, the tools I'm giving you, these 10 steps, they're all full of action. If you apply them, you're going to get some results that you want if you apply them. And these extra tools I'm giving you that you can grab, that you can purchase, confidence tones, motivate, getting to the training seminars that are the highest levels that I know of in the world, because they're very detailed and systematic. These are things that are going to make you take action. They're going to give you what you want. And they're going to help you master a thing called fear. Transform fear into action. Can you imagine being that transformer? Can you imagine if that's who you're known as from now on? Okay, let's go to number 10. I think this is Critical. Celebrate your victories. No matter how big or how small, from this day forward, you've got to celebrate your victories. What happens is we have these little victories and we don't celebrate them because we're always waiting for the big one. And we're always waiting for the big one to celebrate, and the big one keeps on going off and gets off further, and it gets further away, and it gets further away, and it gets further away. And every now and then we can grab a big one, but most of the time we never get to the big one. You know why we didn't get to the big one? Because we didn't embrace and appreciate and celebrate that little victory. That little thing. I want you to start looking at all the little things that move you forward every day. And as you go back to the picture, here's what I want you to think of. I want you to celebrate with a toast, and however you want to celebrate that little thing just as much as you celebrate the big thing. So imagine if you're celebrating the little things like it was a big thing. Imagine what the big celebration is going to be like. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the people that will be involved? So celebrate your victories just like you see the people smiling here. I want you to look at me for a moment here, because this has been some powerful training today. I've given you 10 specific things you could do. I've given you 10 very specific things you could do. And if you just apply each one of these 10s and it all culminates and it gets to the 10th where you say, I'm going to celebrate the little things. I'm going to make a big deal out of the little things like never before in 2021. This is the year where everybody goes, well, you're making such a big deal over that. You say, because man, that little thing is going to get me my big things. Now, what if you needed, let's just say 200 small victories? Or better yet, what if you needed 365 small victories in 2021 that would give you your big victory going into 2022? What would you do? You'd be looking for it every day, wouldn't you? You know, if I just get me one a day, if I get me one little victory today, I'm a step closer. I want you to visualize that from now on. It's a big deal. A lot of people that are around me, they're always like, you make such a big deal out of these little things. Yes, because I know if I got 365 of those, it gets me my whole. So every day I'm looking for a victory, some kind of victory, every day. And they're there to be had. If you fall down, you got to get back up, because you can't go to sleep that day without some kind of victory. And if you live your life every day like that for the next 365 days, you're going to rock this year like never before. You're going to rock this year like never before. So this training, this information, I pray and I wish and I hope with everything in my power that you will embrace these 10 specific steps and apply them in your life. Apply them like never before. Now, we'll make the recording of this available on the J. Noland coaching platform. For everybody that wants an opportunity to grab that, make sure you get over on our mailing list, jnolandcoaching.net, and join the mailing list, because we'll send out a special mailer and give everybody a unique opportunity to see this at least one more time, what you saw today. Did this help you today? Could you use this today in some shape, form, or fashion? Absolutely. It's going to help people. So as I move to the next slide, as we're starting to wrap up this training today, I want an important reminder. Remember, you got to take action. So I gave you some important things that you can do for some shortcuts. What is the first shortcut I gave you? I talked about getting to your tones. Remember that shortcut tip where I said, grab your tones. Make sure you train your brain. See, brainwave entrainment. Entrain, involved in entrain is training your brain. Get your brain waves right. Get on those tones. Shortcut yourself. Grab the foundation. Get the 6 pillars. Grab the deep sleep, man. Have sleep like you've never had sleep before. So that's critical. So remember the important reminders. These are shortcuts to help you. What else is another important reminder? I talked about motivate, making sure that you understand that the motivation is in the motives. And I'm going to give you the 8 master motives like you've never heard them before. I promise you, you've never heard it like this before. Never. And by the way, it's 100% money back guarantee. So you get on there, you don't like it, tell us. We just get you off the system, no problem. But I'm telling you, most people get on this, they'll never be the same. So this is a shortcut. It's an important reminder. Tap into Motivate XP. What's XP stand for? Most people say expert. I call this extra power. I'm going to give you extra power. That's what that XP stands for. 2021, I'm bringing you extra power. Get over to jnolandcoaching.net/motive, MOTIVE, the number 8, and grab that. And the first 40 people, we're going to give them the next Deep Sleep pack of tones for free. So this training has been off the hook. So as we close out today, I slotted a few hours for this training, but I'm like, I don't know how long I'm going to need because I'm going to be right to the point. I'm going to be right to the heart today. And so I hope that you really felt my desire, my passion for you to get everything you want. I'm bringing you world-class tools. I'm bringing you a world-class platform. I'm going to continue to give you all kinds of free information. And then I'm going to continue to give you opportunities for things you can purchase that are accelerators. But I love the fact that we have an incredible balance of what I call the sweet spot. The sweet spot is the people. It's an incredible balance of different people. All these different people from different backgrounds. This is what I've noticed. There's young people. There's middle-aged people. There's older people. There's black. There's white. There's Asian, there's Latino, Middle Eastern. All these different people are plugging in and being involved with what I call a movement. You see, what I've created with this platform is a movement. And I'll continue to bring you tools. I'll continue to bring you education. And most importantly, inspiration and motivation to allow you to become who you want to become. And when I go out of here one day, I want to go out going all out, knowing that I poured every bit I've got into people like you, people who deserve to have the truth told to them so that they can apply it and maximize their purpose in this life. So it's been a wonderful day, a wonderful training. I want you to take action. I want you to make it a great year and know that we're here for you. We're going to continue to pour into you. And I want to see you climbing to the top of this mountain called life with full joy, peace, and happiness. I'll see you soon.